We're here on the banks of the Mississippi River. We're having a really pleasant day.
Gorgeous weather!
Temperatures are amazing. We're sorry for the heat on the West Coast and the rain on the East Coast, but hey, here in the Midwest, it's pretty amazing.
We'll probably get our due eventually.
Absolutely. We've had our due and we'll get it again. Behind us is the Mississippi River. In just the foreground is some of the biggest lily pads I've ever seen in my whole life. And they have huge leaves on some of the trees here that are like this big. We are up in Nauvoo, Illinois, on the banks of the Mississippi. And it's a gorgeous day. We're having a wonderful time, just what they think.
Relaxing.
I think they call it relaxing. It's a new word to us.
It's kind of an unfamiliar feeling. Feels good though.
We like it. It's pretty amazing. We might try it more often.
Yeah.
So you think you got it?
You're on.
Okay.
I'm blocking the wind some.
All right.
All right.
So we are with Deborah Niemann. This is our second time to do an interview with her. We did one at the Mother Earth News Fair in Albany, Oregon, and we are at her home today. And we came here to pick her brain, to see how she does her garden and all the different things. But one of the most important things that we're excited about is she has a course on parasites for goats. And we know that many of you have been watching Justin Rhodes as he lost 3 of his sheep this last week. And we are going to be getting goats this fall to help with our weeds and milk for our pigs. And so we need to know how to do this. And so tell us about this parasite course.
Okay. Basically, we learned all about parasites the hard way, and that is because we went out, we bought goats, we brought them home, we put them in the pasture, and we just let nature take its course. And I thought they would be fine, you know, because they've been fine since the beginning of time, right?
Right,
There was
right.
nobody giving them dewormers or anything, and they were fine. Well, I didn't think about it all that logically, because historically, animals were not confined to any kind of a pasture. You know, they could range over thousands of acres, so they weren't eating from their toilet, which is basically what we're asking them to do today. And it doesn't even, I'm not even talking about like, you know, a place that is just a lot of obvious poop. What they've learned in research is that once your grass gets below about 4 to 6 inches, below 4 inches, the goats are going to be consuming a lot of worm larvae. Worm larva does not have a means of locomotion, so it can't crawl up the grass, because if it could, it'd just keep going. But what happens is that if the grass is wet from like the morning dew or from a recent rain, the larva can float up on the grass. So that's why you really don't want your grass to be less than 4 inches. Because once it gets lower than that, if the goats have been on that pasture long enough to have been pooping, and then the eggs in their poop have hatched, because all goats have some parasites in their system, the eggs in their poop hatch, and then that larva can float up on the grass, and then the goats are ingesting that larva, and that's increasing their parasite load.
Okay.
And so,
I assume the same with sheep.
yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, sheep and goats are extremely similar. In fact, the Consortium for Small Ruminant Parasite Control they talk about sheep, goats, and camelids, which is your alpacas and llamas.
Right.
Because their parasite issues are all very similar. And we also have sheep, but sheep tend to be easier. Most breeds of sheep are easier because sheep are historically grazers. Sheep have gone through time eating off the ground, whereas goats are browsers. And so that's why they tend to have...
eat the
Yes.
hide.
That's why they tend to have more trouble. If we try to turn them into grazers, they're going to have more trouble. If you've got goats in a bushy area where they're just going to be eating up here all the time, you know, eating the leaves off of small trees and bushes, they will probably never have any parasite problems whatsoever. You'll never need to use a dewormer. They will be fat and happy and healthy. But when they're in a pasture, you need to make sure that that grass doesn't get below 4 inches. You need to
Good
move them
to
to the
know.
next. You need to move them to another pasture.
Okay. All right. And so your course is going to teach us what to do and what to give to them.
Right, yeah.
How to treat it.
And like, well, the big thing is prevention.
Prevention.
Yeah, that's really the big thing. Because there are only 3 classes of dewormers in the United States. And so imagine how stingy we would be with antibiotics if there were only 3.
Right, and it's bad enough with as many as we have.
Right, yeah, we have dozens and we still have problems with antibiotic resistance. So the same thing has happened with the dewormers, because before they started doing research about 10 years ago, people thought that they should deworm the goats regularly on a schedule and rotate the dewormers. And what happened was they accelerated the problem and wound up with goats that are resistant, or the worms in the goats are resistant to the dewormers. So you get in a situation where nothing works. And that's exactly what happened to us over 10 years ago. Before there was all the research was getting out there and everything, is that we had a parasite problem and the vet said to deworm every month, and we did, and it just got worse. The worms developed resistance to all the types of dewormers, and then they would have a heavy load, and there was nothing we could do. None of the dewormers worked, and we would just sit there feeling helpless as we watched this animal wither away and die.
Oh, wow. So that's what we don't want to happen, so we're gonna take her course. And her course, the sign up ends for it on the 31st, which is this next Tuesday. So I will put the link below so that you can know how to get to her site. It's very reasonably priced, and I'm gonna take it.
Right, and I actually went and interviewed all of the experts that I learned all of this from. So like professors and researchers from different universities and the USDA who've actually researched this stuff. One of the people, one guy, I asked him how many fecals he had done in his life, and he said he didn't know, but he'd done 3,000 in the previous summer alone.
Wow.
And another one I asked, who's just now retiring, and he said in his whole career probably over 100,000.
Wow.
So I mean, that's what these people do. Like, they really know their stuff.
Really stuff.
Yes.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We're in our pajamas. Yes, we are.
You're gonna admit it?
I am, because they're gonna congratulate us.
Ah.
We got home really late last night.
No, we did not.
We got home really early this morning. Actually, we got home really late this morning. We got home at 3 a.m. and we're going to bed, and it's 9 o'clock, so we know you'll be proud of us for going to bed.
But we did make it home.
We did, and we want
safe and sound.
We want you to know this. As a reminder, our videos are going to be coming out on Tuesdays and Saturdays. On Thursdays at 5 Central Time, we will do a live.
Barring storms that wipe out our internet.
Yeah. So 2 days a week that we're making videos and 1 live. And we also want to tell you that we got the newsletter out late today, but it got out. If you are not a subscriber and would like to be, go to heartinessapproach.com. And we are working diligently to get week 4 of 12 Weeks to Heartiness out. And this one is such an important one to know about fats and how to use them and how to not be afraid of them, I think, is one of the main things.
Yes, yes.
How to not be afraid. So we had a wonderful vacation. We came home today. He even made a chicken door, which we'll show you on probably Tuesday's video. And I might fall asleep standing right here, so let's say good night.
Good night.
Good night.